To Monday Night Rants on the Better Sports Network. What is going on, everybody? Uh-oh, somebody has a case of the Mondays. Well, that's the way the cookie crumbles. And, well, Bob's your uncle. Rants on the Street with Thomas Stevens. Shout out to my producer, Tyler Heavy T. Soto. Boom. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Monday Night Rants on the Better Sports Network, at Better Network on all your favorite social media platforms. I am at Edward Rouse on all your favorite social media platforms. And boy, oh boy, what a show we have tonight. Oh my goodness. Whew. Did anyone see that one coming today in the NFL? It's March Madness for the NFL. Today was absolutely wild. More on that later. So I was going to talk about NCAA. I was going to talk about a lot of other things tonight. But I put that all on the back burner. And I said, nope. I slid right or left, whichever way you slide to say, I went that way. We are only talking about what happened today in NFL free agency. It's not even over. I'm still getting crazy notifications. I've been on it all day. We're going to be going over other rant lines. Thomas Stevens is going to join me. I get a Pittsburgh Steelers reaction to Russell Wilson. Heavy T will be here. I get an Atlanta Falcons fan reaction to Kirk Cousins, which, by the way, I called on the show about a month ago. I said Kirk Cousins is going to Atlanta. I called it. I absolutely called it. His wife is from Atlanta. He got married in Atlanta, and maybe he just likes the Waffle House. I don't know. But Kirk Cousins going to Atlanta. And then after that, my boy Elliot Camps from the Drew Show on New York 104, who's a Packers fan, is going to join me to discuss the Josh Jacobs signing and the Aaron Jones release, which was surprising. So we are jammed packed, full of information and analysis and conversation about these things, just from an overview of what happened today in the NFL, because it was absolutely, and I mean, insane. So bear with me, people. There could be some yelling. There could be some crying when I talked about Austin Eckler. There could be some happiness. We'll see. I'm interested to see how Thomas Stevens feels about Russell Wilson. That's going to be fun. And also Kirk Cousins to Atlanta and the whole Packers thing. And more on the Cowboys later. But check this out. Boom! Look at this. You can follow along with me down below. I'll try to add a minute if anything else happens that's crazy. But we're going all NFL frenzy, free agency frenzy here on Monday Night Rants tonight. So thank you for joining me. Feel free to join in the chat. We are chatting live if you're on Facebook, if you're on Twitch, if you're on YouTube, if you're on Twitter, wherever you are. I can see all your chats in one location in front of me, and I will do my best to answer questions and respond as we go through the evening. So welcome to Monday Night Rants. Without further ado, let's jump into it and the rant lines. The first one. This year in the NFL, no Zoom call needed. That's right. If you remember last year, the running backs were so worried about the position that they said, hey, we need to set up a Zoom call and talk about this because our position is going bleh. At the time, they were probably right. But not today, my friends. Not today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 running backs have signed, 8 of them with a new team. Almost 1/3 of the NFL next year will have a new starting running back at the position. Saquon Barkley, 3-year, $37.8 million contract with the Eagles. Tony Pollard with the Titans, $24 million 3-year. Josh Jacobs, 4-year, $48 million with the Packers. More on that later. My boy Austin Eckler, 2 years, $11.4 million contract with the Crips. This is a guy who's had 69 touchdowns over like the last 5 years for the Chargers. And of those running backs, he only got $11.4 million. Derrick Henry is still yet to sign. And Aaron Jones, well, he just got released today. I like the best part about this was right when the announcement of Josh Jacobs to the Packers. Oh my God. Oh, the jubilation. We have the best two-headed monster in the NFL. The best two-headed monster. And like not 5 minutes later, the Packers have released him. What up, Jose? I see you in the chat. He said, are the Niners going to do anything at all? They did something really, really good today. I will get into that a little later. They actually did do one great pickup. We also saw some trades today as well, by the way, but I'll get to more on those later. But the running back market is here. There's some money being spent on running backs. Gus Edwards signed a 2-year, $6.5 million contract with the Chargers. So I go from Austin Eckler to Gus Edwards. Now listen, Gus Edwards is boring. I get it. He's a boring running back, but he does produce. In a running scheme from Jim Harbaugh for the Chargers, could be a pretty good pickup there for a good price there at only $6.5 million for 2 years. So I'm okay with it. Some red zone help, some goal line help, a big back like he is. Like I said, he's boring. He's not flashy. He's not going to score a touchdown and play guitar. It could be a solid pickup for the price, that's for sure. Antonio Gibson signed a 3-year, $11.25 million contract with the Patriots, giving some help there that they need desperately in the backfield as well. So, Barkley, Pollard, Jacobs, Eckler. I didn't even mention DeAndre Swift. DeAndre Swift, 3-year, $24.5 million contract with the Bears, who desperately needed help. But Roshan Johnson was the future. Between him and Khalil Herbert, underimpressed. But and both those guys were hurt. I know DeAndre Swift has had his time too, but he finally had his first 1,000-yard season with the Eagles last year. And now he's actually going to get, touches, actual goal line touches. And that's why I'm worried about Barkley, by the way. Because Barkley with the Eagles. The Eagles were the only team in the NFL last year. The only team to not have a single running back carry. A single running back carry at the 1-yard line at first and goal. The only team. So here comes Barkley. You got the Hurts thing and the tush push. I know Kelsey retired. So obviously, Kelsey, okay, if you're paying Barkley $37.8 million, you're giving the ball on the 1-yard line. I don't care if you have Hurts or whatever. You're going to do it. I'm not too worried about that, actually. You shouldn't be too. I'm a little worried about where he's going to go in your fantasy football drafts. It's a lot to spread the ball there in Philadelphia. A little worried about that. I don't think he's going to be the guy. Maybe a second-round pick. But people are going to reach for him in the first round. So, there you have it. Tony Pollard now in the Titans. Ugh. Gonna split carries with Spears. I take it. All you Spears truthers out there, I'm sorry. But you pretty much have Spider-Man meme in these two running backs. We'll see how that all hands out. The Josh Jacobs one, again, I'm going to wait and talk to Elliot Cams later from the Drew Show about his Packers and the Josh Jacobs, because I'm very, very intrigued. The Josh Jacobs one was the one that blew my mind, but more on that later. Austin Eckler to the Commanders. Now, wow. You got Brian Robinson Jr. there. Now, Austin Eckler comes in. Austin Eckler does have that injury-prone history. He did have 2 straight years of solid performances and not being injured and led the NFL in touchdowns both years. Just 2 years ago. So he'll be a commodity there, but I wouldn't expect first round production. DeAndre Swift with the Bears, I love it. I think he's going to be the go-to guy. I think he has another over 1,000-yard season, and I think the Bears are looking up. More on that later as well. Now, here's what I really love. Devin Singletary, 3-year, $16.5 million contract with the Giants. He's immediately the number one. Immediately the number one running back for the Giants. And what he showed last year in Houston, this dude can be a number one. So a great replacement for Barkley and about, I don't know, a $30 million savings for the Giants. So I like what the Giants did here. I really do. They saved money and got a guy who's, not as good. Let's be real. Let's try to find a better way to say that. He's not as good as Barkley, but he's serviceable and a good number one. Out of the backfield, catching the ball and running. So I like that. So a lot to talk about with the running backs, really. The running back from last year, from a Zoom call to today, the running back stole the show. And it continued. Speaking of Barkley, my goodness, you guys see this today? So Barkley obviously went to the Eagles. The Eagles are obviously the rivals to the Giants. Tiki Barber, who, I don't know, what's he doing lately, said, Saquon, you're dead to us. Good luck. You're dead to me. Okay. Well, the truth behind this is, before I get to it, obviously you could see what Saquon said. He pretty much said, don't smile in my face and act like you like me then. Shut up. I get it. I would too. You know why? Because news came out today. The Giants didn't even offer Saquon a contract. So you're sitting there blaming Saquon for taking the most money he can to play football, like you would have done when you were playing football. And you're going to call him out like that because, I'm Giant for life. Giant for life. Shut up. Your Giants, the team that you love so much, that you played for your career, didn't even offer him a contract. Didn't even reach out to him. They were done with him the moment they did a franchise tag. So Tiki Barber,
you are one pathetic loser.
Goodbye. May that be the last time he's mentioned in the news. For sure. On to Atlanta. You like that? You want to talk about, and I mean, having the best agent in the world. I'm not going to lie. Kirk Cousins will be going to Atlanta. And by the way, I did call it on this show. I called Kirk Cousins to Atlanta on this show a month and a half ago. They need a quarterback. They were kind of lower in the draft where someone would slip. They weren't willing to trade up for it. New coach, new scheme. They got talent. They just need someone to distribute them the ball. Kirk Cousins is that guy. However, there is some problems with that. Because A, Kirk Cousins, for as much money as he's getting paid, which is a lot in his career, he is 1-4 in the playoffs. 1-4 total in the playoffs, Kirk Cousins. One playoff win his entire career. Now check this out. In 2012, that was his 4-year rookie deal with the Redskins at the time. In 2016, he got a $19.9 million contract fully guaranteed. In 2017, $23.9 million fully guaranteed. In 2018, $84 million fully guaranteed. In 2020, $66 million fully guaranteed. In 2022, $35 million fully guaranteed. And now, in 2024, with the Falcons, $150 million contract, $100 million fully guaranteed. Kirk Cousins is getting bags, y'all. He's getting bags, and his agent deserves an award for a quarterback who's 1-4 in the playoffs in his career. So he played in 5 playoff games since 2012. 5. In his career, the contracts for Kirk Cousins have been $411 million. with $329 million guaranteed. That is absolutely wild for a quarterback who has very little playoff experience. That is 300. This dude is guaranteed $329 million. Guaranteed in his life. Played 5 playoff games. So yes, Kirk Cousins, I love your agent, and I definitely, and I mean definitely, like that. Speaking of bizarre contracts, let's jump to this one. By the way, I know that still is spelled wrong. It's on purpose because he's going to the Steelers. Russell Wilson, a 1-year contract with the Steelers, where I read and I laughed a little bit. I giggled. He will be competing for the starting quarterback job. Can we be real here? Can we be real? The Steelers, I feel like every quarterback they had on their roster for the last 3 years, ever since Ben Roethlisberger, they've all been Mason Rudolph. All of them. Just with different numbers and different names. They're literally all Mr. Trubisky, Mason Rudolph, Kenny Pick. They're all Mason Rudolph. They're all just Mason Rudolph. Unfortunately, Mason Rudolph will not go to number 3. Kenny Pickett will probably go number 2 because we've seen enough of him. And they'll give Wilson the year. They'll say, go for it. Connect 4. He has the talent. Get denied Deontay Johnson. Pickens has his moments. Pickens is the most frustrating receiver, and more on this when Thomas Stevens comes on in a bit. But Pickens is the most frustrating receiver in the NFL. He'll make a single-handed catch behind his back, the most craziest catch you've ever seen in your life. And then he'll be wide open on a slant and drop the ball. It is crazy. We got some people in the chat here going off. Everyone who paid big money to a running back today is doing football wrong. Okay. Kind of agree with that one. And the Eagles basically got KD in the Warriors scenario and Saquon. Okay. Interesting comparison there, I guess. I like it. And we got Zamir White season. That's right, by the way. I love me some Zamir White this coming up season in the NFL fantasy football leagues and wherever. I'd be more than happy to take a stud receiver in the first round and follow it up with Zamir White in the second or third. Be honest, right now. I'm not going to pay up for the Saquon Barkley's. I'm going that direction, guaranteed. But Russell Wilson, we'll see what happens. Thomas Stevens is backstage, so I got one more thing to talk about. I'm going to bring him on, and then we're going to rant about Russell Wilson and his Steelers. I love it. I love it all. Oh, by the way, did I mention that the Broncos are paying Russell Wilson $38 million to play on the Steelers next year? I want that gig. The Broncos are paying Russell Wilson $38 million to not be on their team and play for another team in their conference. NFL record. That's absolutely insane, man. What the Broncos do? Sean Payton's maybe one of the most overrated coaches of all time. Fight me. Speaking of doing nothing, here we are again. As crazy as today has been, the Commanders have gotten better. They added Austin Eckler. The Eagles have gotten better. The New York Giants have gotten better defensively, and one could argue offensively today. Meanwhile, Jerry Jones and the Cowboys, we on vacation, y'all. They're going to come back to their Twitter machines, see all the videos, and go, wait, the other rivals in my division did what? Who's our running back? Dowdle? Uh-oh. Because they all gone, yo. But Derrick Henry, Edward, okay. Aaron Jones. Hey, if you can't beat him, have him join you. Good luck, Cowboys. I wish you the best. All right, without further ado, we normally do rants on the street right now. We may still do it, but we want to talk about the Steelers and Russell Wilson and what he thought about today's crazy, and I mean absolutely insane day in NFL free agency. Thank you for all the comments, by the way. Keep them coming. We love comments. We love comments. Just no bots. It's no bots. No one likes a bot. Unless they're talking good stuff about me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that I do. Without further ado, your friend, your little brother, Thomas Stevens. Let me give you a cheer.
Thank you. You had me laughing backstage, man. You had a run right there, about 5 minutes that genuinely had me in some solid laughs.
Today was crazy. I don't feel like I have a brain left from everything that I saw and read today. I think my phone is on fire from all the notifications from Bleacher Report, Sleeper, ESPN. Like it's still, it's got a new one right now. It's insane. And the running back thing is just absolutely insane. So we'll get into that. I got you for about 20 minutes, so I want to make sure I maximize my time with you and everyone here on Monday Night Rants on the Better Sports Network.
Yes, sir.
At Better Thomas, please give me your 30-second spill or rant on your new quarterback, and Russell Wilson getting paid $38 million for the Broncos to play for your team. Ready?
Yeah,
go.
Man. At first I was mad. I mean, I wasn't mad, but it was upsetting. I thought that there was, going to be another move made. Then I took a step back and I really looked into it, man. And I mean, at the end of the day, it's an upgrade from what we had. Mason's gone; he's not coming back. So it's Kenny Pickett.
No,
and it's
Trubisky's gone. I think Mason's still there.
I don't think Mason will come back. I think
Mason will always be there, just in heart.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. But listen, man, you said it best, dude. I'm paying the guy a long snapper's contract to come play quarterback for my team. And, at the end of the day, the Steelers have thrown 25 passing touchdowns the last 3 seasons. This guy, stats aren't everything. He just threw 26 in 1 season. It's an upgrade, and it's not a Super Bowl upgrade, but it is an upgrade.
But yeah.
And so, I'm not mad. I'm not mad, man. It's like I said, it's better than what we had. Hopefully it means maybe second round and then exit, instead of first round and then exit.
You're pretty much guaranteed over 500 at this point. So.
100%. Yeah. You know that.
I believe in trends, and there's definitely a trend going on over there in Pittsburgh of being over 500. So.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, that's my take on it, man. I think it's interesting. We'll see. We got the most cringiest man in the league, in my opinion, to be my quarterback. So that kind of sucks. But
what was his meme or whatever? What does he say he is? He's like invincible.
Mr. Unlimited.
Mr. Unlimited.
Yeah,
okay,
Mr. Unlimited.
Mr. Unlimited goes to Pittsburgh with unlimited budget because he's getting paid from another team not to play for them.
Mm-hmm. And I just got to say the two, like you said, man, the Denver Broncos. I mean, man, like
Do you agree? Do you agree that
absolutely
Sean Payton take Drew Brees away from the Saints?
Yes.
That Sean Payton may be one of the most overrated coaches.
100%. Sean Payton has had some serious teams, man. There's a lot of failure, except for the 1 year they got over the hump. And I mean, Drew Brees is amazing. I actually have this argument with my uncle a lot about Sean Payton being overrated. So I'm 100% on board with you, man. 100%. The Broncos also gave up too much for Sean Payton.
Yeah, also that too. Yeah, we forget about that. Yeah. And here they are. And Jerry Jeudy, we didn't even mention Jerry Jeudy. They got rid of Jerry Jeudy. He's obviously going to the Browns.
Yeah.
Where he'll be throwing the ball from a number of 4 quarterbacks in my prediction for next year. Got to keep that jersey going. Mm-hmm. So whatever. He was kind of falling out anyways.
Yeah.
But I think that Denver teams, they're in trouble, right?
It's full rebuild. I mean, like, I don't.
Who's the quarterback going to be?
Yeah, exactly. I you know what I mean? Like the deep, they're going to lose Justin Simmons on the defensive end.
We're out. I'm looking at the remaining quarterbacks left in free agency and going, wow, okay. So I think they're really Simmons is gone.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Mason Rudolph is a free agent. That's a sad day for Steelers fans everywhere.
Yeah.
They got Joe Flacco. How about Joe Flacco goes to Denver and throws the ball as far as he can in that high mile-high air? You know what I'm saying? 70 yards down the field to whoever they have.
I don't even know. Is Cortland Sutton?
Yeah. No, he's on the team still.
Okay,
he's their guy. Yeah.
Okay.
He was, I believe, Cortland Sutton. The NFL posted a video that was like the top 10 catches of the year, and he was in like 3 of them. I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
All right, cool. It's like, way to go, Cortland Sutton.
Mm-hmm.
So they still have him, and they got kind of a young running back that's coming, that looks good. Yeah, have a quarterback. Their defense will be fine, but even the me and you can talk about this. I think the Broncos will be last place next year.
I agree. I agree.
Because I think the Raiders got significantly better today.
Yeah, 100%.
With Wilkins on the D line, with Max
Mhm.
Crosby. Talk about a sack party. Are you kidding me?
It's insane.
And I'm a Chargers fan. I'm going, oh,
Yeah.
shit.
Mhm.
That's going to be nasty. But like
Yeah.
over 22 sacks, but combined between the two of them last year,
Mhm.
obviously for separate teams. But
You're
great
gonna have to
pickup.
pick and choose who you want to double team. It's going to be tough, man. It's going to be really tough.
It's going to be tough. And Jose Colossus, just kill me now. He must be a Miami Dolphins fan. It's okay. It's
Still got
okay.
Tyreek Hill.
You got Tyreek Hill, buddy. Just run for it. Run
There
for
you
it.
go.
Cheetah for life. Can we talk about I didn't even talk about this yet.
Mhm.
The Raiders. If anybody in the NFL was born to be a Raider,
Mhm.
born to be a Raider, it's Gardner freaking Minshew, man. It is Gardner
Hell yeah.
Minshew.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
2-year, $25 million contract with the Raiders.
Mhm.
Obviously, O'Connell, we kind of talked about him last year. You kind of were a little bit on him in the preseason.
Yeah.
He's serviceable. And by the
Mhm.
way, once again, Zamar White season. Here I am praising the Raiders. What is
What
this
the hell's
day?
going on?
This day has
Uh-huh.
screwed with my head, man.
Yeah, man. No, for sure.
It is.
For sure. Yeah.
I
yeah,
feel
yeah.
like
The whole shakeup.
I'm hanging out with Aaron Rodgers. I'm doing ayahuasca right now.
You're in the
This
dark
day
room.
has
You're in the
killed
dark
me.
room with Aaron Rodgers.
I am doing something in a hobbit hole, and I don't even know what I'm doing. That's
Uh-huh.
how my mind feels.
Uh-huh.
But Gardner Minshew was meant to be a Raider, man.
Yeah, no, yeah.
He's going to be, I mean,
Yeah.
they
like the
could still get
signing.
a quarterback. I like the
Yeah.
signing too.
Me too, yeah.
I mean, he made the Pro Bowl games, if that counts. I mean,
the Pro Bowl's starting to get like, dude, it's so crazy.
I think my dad did too, though. But
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly, yeah. My grandma was a
that.
kicker.
Oh, she was doing kick-tac-toe. I saw her. She was great.
Yeah. You didn't see her? Yeah.
Love that. Yeah, she got second. Justin Tucker just had her right at the end.
Still won.
Yeah. If only she could go over 50 yards, she would have had it.
Mhm.
All right. Anyways, the Raiders made some good moves today. I'm not gonna lie.
For sure.
But Gardner Minshew.
It's a good safety valve. It's a great safety valve.
I think they still draft a quarterback in the draft.
That's
I
exactly.
think Michael Penix Jr.
Yeah.
would be perfect for the Raiders.
Mhm.
I really do.
Yeah.
I think with Devontae and Jacoby Myers
Mhm.
and like Michael Penix would be just absolutely perfect for that team. Left-handed, we could throw some teams off a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, it took maybe not because Tua's left-handed. It took him 2-3 years to figure it out. But you know, so obviously he'd be a good fit. But hey, Minshew's serviceable, startable
He's
quarterback
solid.
right away, and
He's
he
solid.
don't give an F. He will just start chucking
Mhm.
that ball downfield.
Mhm.
And when you got
I-
those
I have
receivers,
been a
when you
fan
got
of
those
Gardner
receivers
Minshew,
down there,
Yeah, since
Yeah.
the Eagles, dude. Yeah, since the Eagles.
I've been a fan of
I-
him since Washington State.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he was a baller at Washington State too. I forgot about
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
God, his look with the silver and black and his hair and
With the
it's
hair
gonna
and
be
the-
great, man. It's gonna be great. I love it.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna say this once. And that's it. Okay, Raiders fans. Someone's gonna take a clip of this and make a soundbite. I know it.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna say it once. I'm probably not gonna say it again, probably forever. Good job today, Raiders, on Wilkins and Gardner Minshew. Good job. I can't do it. I'm gonna do it anyways.
You got to press.
Oh, it hurt my soul.
It's crazy.
It's
man.
okay. We got
crazy.
Will Disley and Gus Edwards.
Yeah.
Hey, Jim Harbaugh is going to build a running game
Mhm.
that's going to be a machine.
You know, I do like Gus Edwards. I mean, when it comes to put your head
Yeah,
down,
he's
I like
boring.
him.
He's
Yeah,
boring,
yeah.
but he puts up numbers. There's
Yeah,
a
no, he does,
reason
yeah,
why
100%, yeah.
no matter what running back they ever got in Baltimore, who immediately tore their ACL game one, whoever it may have been,
Yeah.
he came right in and just
Yeah,
played the
and
rest
he's
of the
the- yeah,
season,
yeah,
like
for sure,
straight
yeah.
up. Like, and you know, John loved him, and now he goes from brotherly love, baby. He
There's
goes
a
from
reason.
John
That's
to
100%.
Jim.
I didn't
Oh,
even
yeah.
think about that. There's 100%
No,
a reason.
you know, John was in Jim's ear, like, hey,
Yeah.
I
he's
got
solid.
an ex. I got an ex-girlfriend that's
Uh-huh.
perfect for you.
Yeah.
His name is Gus.
Uh-huh, uh-huh. Get him for cheap. Get him for cheap.
Get him super cheap, actually,
Yeah.
compared to some of the other contracts the
Mhm.
running backs got today.
Mhm.
But yeah, I love it. I know. All right, stay quiet, Chargers. Stay quiet. Will Disley, one of the best blocking tight ends in the NFL.
Yeah. Mhm.
Top 10, I believe, last year. And could catch the ball in the red zone, can
Yeah,
catch
for
some
sure.
touchdowns. Not
Yeah.
really a go down the field threat. I think that kind of takes us out of the Brock Bowers running in the draft, which I got to switch up my mock draft on my Rants.com. for sure. Because I got some changes now after the combine and the free agency. And I'll be doing that. So head on over to MidnightRants.com probably this weekend. All of an updated mock draft 2.0 from me.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
The Steelers, the Raiders,
Mm-hmm.
two of the biggest names in the Justin Fields saga for
Yep.
being traded. Well,
Yep.
you could cancel out the Steelers, maybe steal the Raiders, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
What now?
Yeah, no, and you could check out the Falcons too, because the Falcons just got Kirk Cousins for 4 years, $100 million. Yeah. So, backup. I mean, I actually like. I mean,
he's a starter. I could name you 10 teams that he's a better starter than.
No, yeah, for sure, for sure. I just don't know. Like I said, Broncos need one, but I don't know what the hell they have like left. I mean, like I don't know if another trade to go get another guy. I guess that makes sense. But I mean, other than that, I look around the league and I know like off my head, like it's a little difficult, to just name one, but. I mean, a lot of teams like there's it's a quarterback heavy draft, so there's a lot of those teams are gonna go for a quarterback in the draft. Like the Steelers, like you said, they got Wilson. That's solidified. It's done.
Done.
I don't know, man. I mean, maybe like the Seahawks take a chance. I don't know.
I'm sticking with my guns here. I think the Bears will trade the first overall pick to somebody and keep Fields and draft Marvin Harrison Jr. or Malik Neighbors. Yeah. I really feel that he showed really good strides. He was hurt for a lot of the year last year, but showed really good strides. You gave him DJ Moore, and look what happened.
Yeah, no,
imagine DJ Moore and Malik Neighbors, who, by the way, if there wasn't Marvin Harrison Jr., we'd be talking about Malik Neighbors like he was the next Chris Johnson. There's two solid number one receivers, generational talent. I hate saying that word because everybody's a right. Mitch Trubisky was a generational talent, you know what I'm saying? But these are two of the best receivers we've seen in a long time. So either one of them would go well with him. Just give him one more year. He has 1 more year left on his rookie contract. We have to lose. Trade the pick, get some value back, get one of those ace receivers, and see what happens. You made the Bears and Bears. You actually have a running back now in DeAndre Swift. You're not trying to deal with this Khalil Herbert, who was like a 5th round pick that was more of like a special teams guy who's a good run first type of guy, speed guy, but between the tackles and breaking tackles wasn't his game. Roschon Johnson was hurt all last year, and I don't know. You give the dude a chance, man. Enough. Yeah, I think we're going that direction.
Yeah, for sure. I think the Bears, I forget who was talking about it, man, but I think the Bears kind of messed up a little bit. If they were going to trade him, it should have been done because as where you are right now, it's now at a point where you're not going to get as much because they know that if you are solidified with Caleb Williams, then what are you going to do with Justin Fields? You got to give him to us for nothing. If you would have done this 3 weeks ago when people were still, who are they going to take? And they still are, but it was way more of who they're going to take. You could have got way more for Fields, way more. So I do see what you're saying because I don't think they just want to ship him off for a 7th round pick or something like that. So, and save money, go
save the money and get draft capital.
Yeah, man, like they're a solid team. They're not a bad team, and I think everybody, because the Bears, they're not a low market, but they're just they kind of slide under the radar a lot, like nobody besides Bears fans talk about the Bears. And so I think nobody really sees it, but you said it on the dot, man. You gave him DJ Moore and he performed. He performed this year, I mean, the Bears were
healthy, and he was hurt for 5 games.
Exactly. And people forget that too. I mean, the Bears fans were chanting his name at the end of the season for a reason. You know what I mean? They wouldn't be chanting his name in Chicago if he was Kenny Pickett. I mean, it's just the truth. Like, I don't know.
The only thing he's going to get is a picket fence, my friend.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Go learn Chinese. I love using that word. Go learn Chinese.
Yeah, right. Or UFL, whatever.
UFL.
UFL playbook. Yeah, we'll talk about it if we have to. A surprise pick for me, and we got about 4 more minutes left with you, was Gabe Davis today. Signing with the Jaguars, which means the Jaguars are out in the Calvin Ridley sweepstakes, one could say. Gabe Davis, 3-year, $39 million for what I like to call a one-trick pony.
Yeah.
Overpaying when, Would Calvin Ridley not take 3 year, $39 million?
Mm-hmm. No, it's great. Yeah,
Gabe
it's
Davis?
wild, yeah. They think very low of Calvin Ridley, or he is asking for an insane amount. One of the other, man. One of the other.
Yeah, because Gabe Davis is not Calvin Ridley. Like I know that facts. That's fact. And you know why I know that? Well, I have eyes.
Yeah.
So
no, yeah, legit, man.
Yeah.
No, the Jags pissed me off because let me tell you something. The Jags keep messing up the receiving market. They did it with Christian Kirk, and then Deontay Johnson came back, wanted this huge contract because Christian Kirk got it. You know what I mean? And now they're getting Gabe Davis $40 million. And I mean, it's pissing me off. I saw a Buffalo Bills fan rant about this, and he's like, he's like, if you're a Bills fan, he's like, like that. $40 million for this guy, it's absolutely insane. I
have eyes. I know. Yeah. I'm not even a Bills fan. It's
Duval, they were like this, man, and. I mean, it was a weird way to end last season. I know Lawrence got hurt, everything like that, but bad way to end the season.
They blew it at the end for sure. Yeah, they were almost guaranteed.
To the Titans. You could have made the playoffs. You beat the Titans. You lost to the Titans.
You lost to Will Levis and the Titans.
Exactly. Yeah.
But the Titans, by the way, have made really good moves today too.
Yeah, no, the Titans
defensively.
Pollard is interesting to me, but it's not that expensive, so I don't mind it that much.
Yeah, he's $24 million on a 3-year. So you kind of have a little two-headed monster going out, you know. Going there with Spears and Pollard. I don't think Spears was ever going to be a true 3-down back.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, one of my Spears shares.
yeah. David Q will talk about that. I'll get him on here. So I want to talk about Kirk Cousins, of course.
I do want to ask you really quick though, Aaron Jones. I know you brought him up a little bit. Like very interesting. Obviously, they got Jacobs. Like, where do you think? Like, you said the Chargers.
I think the number one place for him to go now, it's when they get back from vacation.
The Cowboys.
But the Cowboys. You know why? Because Aaron Jones in his career, especially the playoffs, has absolutely torched the Cowboys. So if you can't beat them, just have them join your team. You know, like the old saying goes, join them or whatever. But he'd fit perfect, man. He would really fit perfectly in that Cowboys system. I'm not going to lie. And if I were them, I'd really be looking at him right now, number one, because Dowdle ain't going to be 3-down back.
Deuce Vaughn, eh?
The reason why or Deuce Vaughn. He's like 28. The reason why the running backs are going absolutely insane today, right now, is also really weak running back draft year.
Mm-hmm.
There really is.
Very weak. Yeah.
And I know there's going to be those guys in the 5th round or that get drafted. Everyone's excited about because there could be a chance he gets a chance to play if there's an injury and blah, blah, blah. Well, guess what? More openings of players who are already in the NFL just opened up for them to be starters now. Zamir White, like we talked about. It's a lot. Houston now also needs a running back.
I think Henry.
Losing Singletary. That's what everyone's saying, but
I can just see it. But I also don't know if Henry wants to do his old team like that.
What,
I know he's got love
like Saquon Barkley did?
Yeah. No, Saquon, he's out for vengeance. He wants 2 games against this team every year, 100%.
Yeah, I think the only running back Jacobs went to the other conference. Eckler went to the other conference.
Mm-hmm.
Swift stayed in the conference. Singletary
conference.
So most of them went. Yeah. So Barkley is the only one that to get in Tiki Barber's head, you must have. Okay, so stupid, you're dead to me. What are you in 5th grade, Tiki Barber? Go kick rocks. Jesus Christ.
He's just mad.
His team didn't even pay for him. All right. Any last thoughts?
No, man. Interesting day. Running backs all getting signed. We'll have a lot more defensively, I think, coming up these next few days. 100%. So we'll be texting about it for sure. Real quick, I do want to ask you if you have like a second, just like any quick thing about the UFC. It was a pretty big card, so
yeah. I know this is. I had planned to talk about all of this, and it just went out the window.
We can text about it too if you want, man. If you don't got time,
that's fine. I think O'Malley deserved winner, and he gets better and better each fight. And unless somebody can figure if that's going to be crazy. If it's in France too. If anyone can figure out how to take him to the ground and keep him there, they may have a chance. Until then, he's the best striker we've ever seen in the UFC, period.
100% agree with you. Yep. I love it, man. I love it.
All right, brother. Next week, you're joining us because we're doing a full bracket. We're filling out our bracket as a team here on My Night Rants. We're going to winning bracket, all right?
Love it.
Cool.
Love it.
All right, man. Have a good night. Enjoy your night. And good luck to Russell Wilson.
Yeah. Thanks, man. All right. Later, man.
Later. Look at that. We're actually keeping to time schedule here on Monday Night Rants. What is going on? Heavy T, what is happening with my life today? How's your head?
I mean, my day was
It looks like you're like
fantastic.
in a secluded room by yourself.
Yeah,
Like,
so I am coming to you live from the FanDuel Los Angeles office because I am
nice.
currently working. Well, I say that loosely because all my stuff is done. So I'm pretty much just waiting for my time to be able to go home.
Is this gonna get you fired being on my show right now?
No. I should be totally fine.
So from now on, all odds and everything we talk about will be FanDuel related. So we'll keep it.
I've been pushing this agenda forever, dude. I've been telling you this. Come on, man. No, dude, my day has been great. The Falcons got the quarterback that I wanted, that I had been pushing for since the end of the season.
Was
So
him over like trading up and getting Caleb Williams? Okay, let's say the Falcons trade up and got Caleb Williams. Would you rather have Caleb Williams or would you rather have Kirk Cousins now?
that's kind of a tough one. Don't get me wrong. I would like Caleb Williams, but I'm looking at the way that the NFC South is currently set up. This division is super winnable by any of the teams not named the Panthers because they're a mess.
Yeah, let's not count
So
them. They don't count.
yeah, so you have the Panthers. They just don't have a good team at all. To the point where I saw a tweet that country star Luke Combs called out the Panthers, and he even said, "I don't normally tweet about this, but basically, what the hell is going on?" So there's that, which is great.
Shout out Luke Combs, by the way, great voice.
Yeah, but I mean, if you look at the quarterbacks in the division, Kirk Cousins is probably number one.
Yes.
I mean, I love Baker Mayfield. I've been a Baker Mayfield fan for his whole career. Kirk Cousins, I'm putting above Baker Mayfield.
Did you
Kirk
know
Cousins
that Kirk Cousins and Baker Mayfield both have the same amount of playoff wins?
Yeah, that sounds about right. In all honesty, that sounds
And
about right.
you know what that is?
One. Yeah, but I feel like doesn't Baker have two?
No, he's 1-1. He made the playoffs with the Browns and lost in the first round. The 1 year, and then this.
Well, I remember them losing to Kansas City.
That was the first round. That was the first round game. Does he?
I
have to give that a goof now.
No, I could have sworn that was a second round game because I'm pretty sure the AFC Championship spot was on the line. And I'm trying to think. That would have been 2020.
Oh, he's actually 2-2 all time in the playoffs. So you are right. Yeah, it was in 2021. He won. Yep. So he's 2-2. So he actually has more playoff wins and experience than Kirk Cousins.
But Kirk Cousins did beat the Saints, which means he's already ready for NFC South. Atlanta Falcons, team right there. So now he's good. So like I said, I love Baker Mayfield. I would put Cousins ahead of him.
Yeah.
And Derek Carr sucks. He's so bad.
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins is way better. So I think to answer your question, I think I'm probably taking Cousins instead of Williams because here's the thing too, is that you look at the contract they gave. They gave him 4 years, I think $120 million, $50 signing bonus. If you really look at it, that thing is really, really front loaded. So if it doesn't work after the first 2 years, they can just cut him. And this is part of my plan all along. I said,
your plan.
I put this on Twitter. I even retweeted this morning. I put this on Twitter on New Year's Day. Okay, New Year's Day of this year. I said, get Kirk Cousins. You draft Shedeur Sanders next year. You bring him home.
You're really high on Sanders going to the NFL level.
It's me being high on him, but also at the same time, Dion played here. We drafted him. Bring his kid home. Okay, so that's just what makes sense to me.
Yeah, that's a homer though. That's a homer. Come on.
I mean, it is a homer, yes, but like, I'm going to be honest with you. If Shedeur decided to come out this year, he's the second best quarterback behind Caleb Williams. I'm not high on anybody from this draft class besides Caleb Williams. Drake May's not getting as much buzz, and I know he's kind of slipping on the draft board.
Yes.
Everyone is super high on JJ McCarthy, and I do not understand why. I really don't get it.
It's a weird draft year with quarterbacks because the pandemic year is finally coming back to us, where you have, Bo Nix, Michael Penix, Jaden Daniels, who are all like 24, going to be 25 when the season starts, right?
Yeah.
They see a lot of the same similarities in like Penix and Nix as JJ McCarthy, who was in a system that ran the ball all the time, but when he made his limited throws in the cold most of the time, they were accurate. But you're getting a quarterback that's 3 years younger than those other guys. And that's like kind of like been the biggest thing I've read in the blog or I've seen from my sources is that his age and how mature he is for his age being younger than these other guys makes him a more valuable asset.
Don't get me wrong. I think that's.
I'm with you, though. I'm with you. I ain't biting that.
I think that's a dumb take. Like, age shouldn't matter if you're trying to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, dude. Look at the Bucks and bringing in Tom Brady when he was like 40. It's like, yeah, dude, they were trying to win now. Okay, like I don't care. Like, oh, this guy doesn't have as much of an upside as this guy, but he is younger, so let's get him instead. Who cares? Like, dude, give me the best player to win. And JJ McCarthy is not that player. I'm sorry. Like,
I agree.
Won.
I'm with
he
you. I don't
won
see it
in
either.
Michigan, and albeit to him, okay, he did what he had to do, but he's a game manager. That's all he is. He's a game manager.
He actually really, really reminds me of Alex Smith, which is like the ultimate game manager of all time. One of them. Just his.
I don't even know if I put him that high. I don't. I liked Alex Smith. I thought Alex Smith, once they finally got him a good coach, I thought he was a great player.
Yeah, but he wasn't. He wasn't a top tier quarterback. He would throw it when he had to. He would make the good throws when he needed to. That's kind of how I see. Like that's ceiling how I see JJ McCarthy though. But I've watched his college tape. I've seen his combine or whatever. He just looks like a quarterback. Like his floor. Okay, his ceiling to me is Alex Smith. His floor is Mitchell Trubisky.
That's a pretty low floor.
Yeah. So that's kind of how I see him. So it's kind of like, I'd rather have Drake May. I'd rather have Penix. I'd rather have Bo Nix. I'd rather have, obviously, Caleb Williams and even Jaden Daniels, even though Jaden Daniels scares me a little bit because he does kind of remind me a lot of like Lamar Jackson light, where he's kind of struggles a little bit out of the pocket throwing the football, where Lamar Jackson did a little bit too coming out of college, but he developed that arm, which made him the MVP, 2-time MVP he is today now. So if Daniels can figure that aspect of his game out to trick defenses to say, hey, is he good to throw or not? But if he becomes a once I'm out of the pocket, I'm running, his career is going to be cut short.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens, as we get closer to the draft. But yeah, no, today was.
But yeah, back to today. Sorry, we went off the tangent.
Today was one of the wilder free agent days I think I've ever seen, and there were some moves that were really good. Like I think low key, I think Josh Jacobs to the Packers is actually a pretty good move. The Packers also bringing in, I want to say it was Xavier McKinney. That's also a really good move.
Great.
So they're loading up to take that division back. However, there were some moves, two specifically that I can think of, that I was just like, oh, that's cool, I guess. One of them was Tony Pollard to Tennessee. So
weird location, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, it's not even the location thing. It's just that you have Tajay Spears, and he played really well. Look, don't get me wrong. Look, the Titans aren't going to do anything this year. So you might as well just let Spears play the year and let it play out. Why are we bringing in Tony Pollard?
And here's what surprised me too: is Pollard got the same contract as DeAndre Swift. They're almost identical.
Which, by the way, DeAndre Swift to the Bears, I thought was an interesting move, and I actually like it. I like
that move. I do.
So yeah, that was one move that I just didn't really understand. Also, like I said in the private chat earlier, rest in peace to my one share of Tajay Spears. That's not gonna.
Hey, the Titans offer him the contract. He saw that money, and I guarantee you, the moment that Tony Pollard's agent saw that contract come in, he couldn't say yes fast enough.
Yeah, I mean, I know you're right. I mean, like I said, this is nothing against Pollard. This is one of the Titans front office. Like, why? So that's
I think it's because you've had Derrick Henry for so long. Your running game has been good for so long. He's been the staple, the face of the franchise. To go from him to just Tajay Spears and that's it. No kind of running game, and Will Levis. And I think it was just the front office trying to say like, "Hey guys, we're still in this to run the ball." Maybe, I don't know. It's a weird move to me too. It's an interesting one. I thought Tony Pollard got overpaid there, but
and then
Today was
other one
nuts.
that the other one that kind of hit me in a weird spot because I was like, oh, okay. Austin Eckler to the Commanders,
Yeah,
that kind of came out of nowhere.
for only
I didn't see that coming.
$11.4 million for 2 years too.
Yeah, and I was thinking like, oh, you know what? Eckler would probably go, he'd probably go to Dallas if they're going to let Pollard walk. They could probably get Eckler pretty cheap. But he goes to the Commanders, and I'm like, okay, that's cool, I guess. Don't know what you're really doing there. But, I mean, the Commanders are in full rebuild mode anyway.
Complete rebuild.
So, yeah, they're complete rebuild. And like I said, it's a 2-year, $11 million deal. So, like, if it doesn't work out, it's not the worst thing in the world because it was pretty cheap. But that one caught me off guard. Now, the one I do want to mention, and it caught my my buddy way off guard, is Saquon going to Philly.
Okay.
That was an interesting one. I definitely did not see that coming. So this is all on the Giants because the Giants were stupid enough to let them think that Daniel Jones was the franchise savior after one good year with Brian Dable. So they fork over all this money, and now they have no money to pay Saquon. So not only does he leave for nothing, he goes to your arch rival. I mean, we're talking a top 10 NFL rivalry here. He goes to your arch rival, starts tweeting like the Eagle logo, and starts beefing with Tiki Barber, which is the funniest thing ever, because Tiki Barber is the last person to talk about any of this, because this is the same dude who was basically, you know what, I'm done with the Giants. I still have it left in the tank, but I'm done. I'm leaving. And then he threw everybody under the bus.
Yep.
And he's going to talk like, oh, you're dead to me. You're not loyal. Get the hell out of here. You weren't even loyal to your wife when you left her when she was 8 months pregnant. Dude. Like, get the hell out of here.
Also that. Like, how high school is that, though? How high school is that? Ugh.
It's so stupid. And, like, I know he's got to get, like, the ratings up for the New York media or whatever, but just he is the last person to say that. If anyone else in the New York media said that, like if Francesca said that, I'd be like, okay, like that's fine. But just Tiki Barber, just shut up, dude. Like, you're dead to me. Get the hell out of here. You're a clown. Dude's always been a clown. Rondé's been the better brother. He's been
Rondé is the man. Yeah, Rondé's the better twin for sure.
Rondé's easily the better twin. Tiki sucks, dude. Like I hate that dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, a couple other moves to think about. I know people were clowning on it, and trust me, I'm the one clowning on it too, because I just think it's really funny. But I don't necessarily completely hate the Steelers bringing in Russell Wilson.
Oh, okay.
And the reason is, it is for 1 year, and I think like $1.2 something million.
Well, plus because the 38 that Denver is paying him.
Plus that's the thing. Is that if you know Denver's going to be paying like all $38 million of this money. So if you're Pittsburgh, well, we have Kenny Pickett. He's not great. We have Mason Rudolph. He's not great. Why not take? Yeah, why not take a very low risk, high reward shot at the quarterback?
I talked about it with Thomas Stevens, and he agreed too. He said same thing. Like, why not? Like, for that amount of money, that's low. Like, you're getting a guy who's won a Super Bowl. You're getting a guy who's one of the best quarterbacks in the league for a couple of years coming in, still not that old, just having to deal with the Broncos here. You know, now he does have personal issues, and he's kind of a weirdo, and like won't even give his cell phone number out to his teammates. I get that. He's Mr. Unlimited, but why not? Get someone who can get the ball to your talent that you have in the receiving core, right?
Yeah, I mean, you have George Pickens and the
Deontay
rest of that
Johnson.
offense.
Yeah,
Deontay Johnson. I've never been high on Deontay Johnson. I don't think he's all that good. But you have Pickens, and then you have the running backs, like you have Najee. Like, get these dudes the ball. Like, get Freiermuth the ball. Like, get these guys, and Russell can win. Not win. I mean, he can win, but he can run a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, is it going to work out? We'll see, because they are arguably in the hardest division in all of football. So that'll be interesting.
All the teams got better. All the teams got better today, too.
Yeah, and let's be honest, the only reason the Bengals weren't in the playoffs is because Joe Burrow got hurt. That's the only reason they weren't in the playoffs. If he's there, they're going.
Fair.
So, yeah, they're in an incredibly difficult division.
You think they trade T. Higgins?
No, I don't think so. Well, I say I don't think so, but then again, the Bengals owner, whose name's escaped me at the moment, he is known for being notoriously cheap. So I could totally see him not paying the money to T. Higgins, and they end up trading him. But we'll see what happens. They don't have to trade him. T has to show up. Unless this dude starts sitting out and not showing up, then they won't do anything about it.
That always
So we'll
works
see
well
what
for
happens.
everyone, doesn't it? That
Yeah,
sit out
and he
thing.
even came out. He even came out and said that,
Ever?
like, "Hey, I love Cleveland, or not. I love Cleveland. I love Cincinnati.
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
I could,
whoa.
I know, I know. Let's clarify. He came out and said, "I love Cincinnati. I'd like to, play my whole career here." But they haven't talked to him since last year about extending his deal. So that's more
Yeah.
on the Bengals than anything. So
I agree.
yeah, man. Those are kind of my thoughts. I've been working all day, so I haven't had a chance to dive too deep into it. I did see some O-line moves that were pretty interesting because I think people are now starting to realize that O-line is a lot more important than people make it out to be. So yeah, so those are interesting. But yeah, the big splash is obviously like Kirk was huge, Josh Jacobs going, and then just see all these big names. This is a wild day, dude. Absolutely love it. Before I go, we'll mention one thing real quick. So I do have another blog coming out. I got it done a little late today, so we weren't able to get it out before the
You
show.
got to give it to me, man. You got to give it to me sooner. I was kidding.
This is what happens when you wait to pack for a week-long trip until the last minute, and then you're like, oh, crap. Like, I got to cram everything.
You're off to Houston, right?
Yeah, I'm off to Houston for a week. So if I do, I'm not 100% sure if I'm doing the show next week, but if I do, it will be from Texas. So
you have to, because we're doing our March Madness brackets, heavy T. Can't you see me and Thomas Stevens?
Worst case scenario, I'll send in my bracket. You guys can just display. I'll figure. Hey man, look, barbecue.
We want heavy T live from Houston. We are the Houston Texans show of record. Remember?
We are. This is true.
We love Houston Texans fans.
I will see what I can do. I will make no promises, but I'll see what I can do. But like I said, we do have.
I will fly to Texas and force you.
Like I said, I do have a blog that is going to be posted either later tonight, early tomorrow. Shout out to the people of New York, because this one's for you, baby. It is on the New York Knicks.
Yes. Let me get an air horn.
So, this is one of the ones where I did my research on it. And, going into it, I was like, the Knicks have been pretty bad. This makes sense. And I did the research on it. And the more and more I did, the more and more I was like, holy shit, they are really, really bad.
It gets worse.
It's so much worse. I don't know if you had a chance to even read it yet.
But I haven't yet. But okay, when I think of the last, 20 years of the Knicks?
Yeah.
Here are the things that pop in my head. Jeremy Lin.
Okay.
Jeremy Lin. And that one time that they had Carmelo Anthony.
I mean, yeah, that's pretty much the essence. Yeah. Like, I'll be honest. I mentioned this in the blog. The Knicks have only made 4 good moves in 24 years. Those moves would be draft Kristaps Porzingis, because he ended up being pretty decent. Drafting David Lee, he ended up being pretty decent.
I forgot about him. Yeah.
Signing Amari Stoudemire
for the Warriors.
Yeah. Well, don't trust me. I mentioned that. I mentioned how they are known for drafting players, and then they cut them and let them go before they're able to prove their worth. So, no, that is mentioned in the blog. But the other 2 moves, they got Amari Stoudemire, was good for about a year and a half. Unfortunately, the injuries, they catch up, But that year and a half was also with Carmelo Anthony, who they traded for, and that was kind of an exciting time. So there are 4 moves right there. But that's also 4 moves in 24 years, and the rest of them are awful. And trust me, this blog is a good one. It's a good one.
A series of inept franchises. If you haven't checked out the Cleveland Browns one from last week, go ahead to MoneyNightRants.com and check that out. MoneyNightRants.com. And coming soon, the New York Knicks joins Heavy T's inept franchise series. I'll have that up later tonight, my friend. I promise you. And we'll get it promoted and out there before you head on your merry way to Houston.
I will try my best to do one, because I'm taking my laptop with me because I got to get some stuff done anyway.
Oh, so you can join the show next Monday night.
Like I said, I will make no promises.
You can be in a bar drinking beer. All we got to do is fill out brackets, dude. That's all we got to do.
I will try my best to have a blog up for next week. Kind of have an idea of who I'm going to do.
People
I'm
love you,
not
man. Like,
100%
good luck,
sure yet.
Heavy T. Good luck, Heavy
Thank
T.
you.
Good luck
Thank
in
you.
Houston.
Thank you, Josh. Thank you. So yeah, I think next week I'm picking a baseball team, but I'm not sure which one just yet.
Ooh.
So I'm not gonna lie,
Don't
the
pick on my
Chicago,
Padres, although they probably deserve it.
they maybe like the Chicago White Sox are on that list because they definitely deserve it.
Oh yeah.
And I could, yeah, there's a couple other teams I could think about, but yeah, we'll probably have a baseball one next.
Sweet. Let's do it. A series of NFL franchises on MondayNightRants.com at Heavy T on air on all your favorite social media platforms. Ooh, says Seattle Mariners there. The good people try to give you
They are on the
options
list.
there.
I'm not gonna lie,
I love it.
Seattle is on the list.
I
The
love it. I
Washington
love it.
Nationals are on the list. I mean, we got teams galore. I got you
And you can
guys.
only find out how bad your teams suck on MondayNightRants.com. So check it out, my friend. Have a safe flight.
Thanks, sir.
Have fun in Houston. And we'll see you next Monday night, huh?
We'll see. We'll see.
All right. Love you, brother. Be safe, man.
Later, man.
Later. Heavy T on air. Joining me from the FanDuel studios, I guess. FanDuel in LA. Shout out to him. Working all day in this crazy day. One more guest. We're going to keep it going. We talked with a Steelers fan about Russell Wilson and getting paid $38 million from the Broncos to play for another team. And then we talked about Kirk Cousins and the Atlanta Falcons from an Atlanta Falcons fan. And Heavy T, who said he would rather have Kirk Cousins than trading up to draft for Caleb Williams. Crazy. But what would this night be without some Packerdom? Is that a word? Joining me now is my friend, my fellow patio beer mate from The Drew Show on New York 104, Elliot Cams. Elliot, how you doing, buddy? Can you hear me?
It's been an emotional day, but we're gonna make it through it. We're gonna make it through it. But
All right.
it's been a roller coaster. It's been a roller coaster for the Cheese Nation for sure. But
The
you know,
Cheese Nation. Is that a thing?
minute by
You guys
minute
call
at this
yourself the
point.
Cheese Nation? You guys call yourself the Cheese Nation?
I'm gonna use it. It's nacho cheese. Okay, so this is ours. It's our thing.
All right, Cheese Nation. Here we go. All right, give your thoughts. Give it to me. 30 seconds. Go.
Bakhtiari, sad to see him go, but he hasn't been healthy in 2 years. So I understand.
24% of
Andre
games he's
Cam.
played it.
Yeah, so I get it. It's sad, but he's going to make an awesome Jet for like 4 games, you know? So
Fair.
it's sad. The Green Bay Packers had the best running duo for a total of 45 seconds. And man, that is something we're always going to remember. Like in like 5 years, we're going to look back and be like, hey, remember when we had 2 of the best running backs in the league? Oh, yeah, that was a cool. And then just like that's gone. It's gone. And, you know, they got a new safety, one of the best safeties out, Xavier McKinney. I mean, very good pickup. It's the most I've ever seen the Packers spend on defense, frankly, since Julius Peppers, maybe. But let's go back to Aaron Jones here, because this guy's been the pinnacle of professional, and he has been the most important piece of offense the Packers have had in his 5 years as a Packer. He's been a pro's pro. He has some of the best north to south speed in the NFL, and he's arguably, if not the best catching back in football. Then you get Josh Jacobs, who is an awesome runner, a little grittier than Aaron Jones, but has never once had a passing or a receiving touchdown, ever. That's kind of a big deal for the Packers offense.
Yeah.
So you save up all this cap space getting rid of Bakhtiari. You try and ask for a pay cut from Jones, and then it comes out you ask for more than 50% of his salary after the guy's been nothing but a pro's pro and loyal to the franchise. And you say when you end the season, oh, we're having 33 back. Absolutely. Like I can't picture a season without 33 as a Packer.
They did say that at the Combine.
Oh, by the way, we want you to take more than 50% off your paycheck so we can bring in another guy who, look, I don't want to say we're overpaying for Josh Jacobs. We might be, but I mean, it just feels like bad business, and who knows? Maybe they know something we don't. Maybe his injuries this last season were more than we know. I mean, he's 30. Maybe he's on the older side. You have a 26-year-old Josh Jacobs coming off 2 great years, but it just feels like this could be a move that bites them, especially with reports of Minnesota being interested. He could stay in the NFC, and then every time somebody that was a former Packer comes in, they always clobber us. And if you follow the Packers like I do, you know the rush defense has been awesome for the last 30 years. So it just feels like bad business. And I know Packer fans are broken from it.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, it's I don't want to come off as like you're bashing Jacobs, because you're not. He's an awesome running back, and he's 26. Yeah. You have his whole prime, basically. But it just feels like, man, there's some karma coming back our way for this one.
All right, you ready for this?
Let's hear it.
3 years ago, Aaron Jones was 26 years old.
Yep.
He signed a contract for the Green Bay Packers for 4 years for $48 million. Today, a 26-year-old signed a contract for the Packers for 4 years for $48 million.
And you know what's going to happen? We're going to fall in love with Josh Jacobs. He's going to be
3
awesome.
years, when he turns 29, about to be 30.
Right? And then we're all going to forget. And then we're just going to have this vague memory of like, wait a minute, I've heard this before. I've done this dance before. And we're going to see somebody else on the market, or let's face it, we'll go through the draft, find like a 3rd-round running back, a 4th-round running back. Like, this guy. We're going to build an offensive line, and he's going to be a star. And everybody's like, yo, you got to keep this guy. And we're going to do the same dance like we always do. And it's just going to break our hearts. That's what the Packers do. They make you fall in love with players so much just to get rid of them for nothing, to literally cut them for nothing.
I have news to you. It's not just the Packers. It's every team nowadays in the NFL.
Yeah.
I lost Austin Eckler today, my friend.
Right. I saw that. And to the Commanders, who, lucky him, you know.
Yeah. Woo! Yeah.
Hey, I was one of the best running backs in football, and I carried the offense when Justin Herbert was having trouble. But hey, I'd love to go to the Commanders. I'd love to go to Washington.
just 2 years ago, I led the NFL in touchdowns for 2 straight years. But you know what? Let's go to Washington. They're stable.
I heard it's beautiful. In that stadium, incredible. Great facilities.
Whatever it's called now, because FedEx said, nope, no more. We're done. It's just called like Washington Football Stadium, like they were the Washington football team.
Just stadium. They should just stadium.
Like in a movie where it's just stadium.
Just stadium. Yeah, we'll figure it out.
That's kind of a bad place for him, because they got Brian Robinson Jr. there too. Who knows what they're doing at quarterback? They gave Sam Howell. Sam Howell led the league in passing yards for a good chunk of the season too. He wasn't terrible.
I had so much faith in Sam Howell. I don't know what it was. Maybe he reminded me of an old Favre, just chucking interceptions, but chucking teeters too. You know what he is? He's got like Jameis Winston in him. He's got fun in him. He's gonna give you a run where it's like 20 yards, a spin move, a dive for a first. Like, dude, this guy's awesome, and then immediately throw a pick six, and it's like, what just happened? But then have 400 passing yards and 2 touchdowns, and like a rushing touchdown. Like, dude, this guy's awesome.
But
I mean,
looks like quarterback.
Is he great?
No, he's not great. You know, he's pretty
but
much Gardner Minshew.
And sometimes you need fun.
Sometimes
you need fun. Like when you're in that weird in between, we don't have our franchise guy, or we're coming off a veteran that we've had forever. Have a fun quarterback that'll at least sell some tickets. Like, you're in for 370 yards. And like 3 TDs and 2 interceptions. Like,
that's exactly what the Raiders are doing right now. The Raiders are doing that with Gardner Minshew after today. They're going for fun.
Right. But I mean, you're going to get so many crazy fans, Minshew mania out there. I mean, he's a perfect Raider.
He's a perfect, right? He's just meant to be a Raider. Like, it is the perfect.
Like, there were 2 teams for Minshew that were perfect: Jacksonville and the Raiders. Like, those are the 2 most Gardner Minshew teams ever.
Yeah, no one wants to, like, Jacksonville. What are they doing today? Like, Gabe Davis giving him that much money. That much money to Gabe Davis and just letting Calvin Ridley, who would have probably taken the same amount, I would imagine. That's a pretty good contract for Gabe Davis, but I don't know.
I mean, maybe they saw him on FanDuel still, and they're like, "Come on, man! Like,
are you still betting?"
He's like, "Don't worry, it was on my over/under staying. How many more weeks?" You know, and they were just like, "Well, press that under, like tap, smash that under."
DraftKings has an over/under for this. I'm taking it right now. Give me a second.
Yeah,
look at that.
It's a deal. It's a parlay too.
Oh, here we go. Breaking news, Elliot. Ooh. Zach Moss, running back Zach Moss, is signing a 2-year deal, $8 million for the Bengals. Man, it is the.
That's a good deal. That's a good play.
Oh, hold on. And did I just read this right? The Bengals have released Joe, and the Bengals just cut Joe Mixon.
Wait, what?
Joe Mixon has just been released by the Bengals. Joe Mixon now joins Aaron Jones in the free agent market for running.
What are they?
Breaking news here. Breaking news here on Monday Night Rants. Joe Mixon just cut. See ya. Goodbye.
Like,
from the
I
Bengals.
get Joe Mixon had like off-field issues, but Joe Mixon was solid. And if you had him and Zach Moss together, that's a nasty 1-2 punch.
Zach Moss is not Joe Mixon. Like, Zach Moss is not. So that makes Zach Moss the incumbent starter. Now they do have Zach Evans or Chris Evans or whatever name of a superhero they have over there. But I mean, Zach Moss is the starter now, and Joe Mixon now hits free agency. It's getting crazy, man. The running back carousel that just today alone, and what a way to end it. Like, come on. Joe Mixon getting released.
Well, I mean, Zach Moss for the first quarter of the season for the Colts, he was solid. Like, he was good.
When he took over for Taylor, 100%.
Yeah. When Taylor was like itching his way back, I mean, he played well. So, I mean, like, he definitely earned a job, but he's a perfect 2-back. I don't feel he's a perfect 1-back.
So 2 years ago, both Zach Moss and Devin Singletary were a two-headed tandem that everyone complained about for the Buffalo Bills. Today, they both just got paid money to be the starters for 2 separate teams. How crazy is that?
It's a funny world. While you have Singletary and Zach Moss getting starting jobs, you have all-pro running backs getting cut.
And Joe Mixon on the Ravens. That is absolutely crazy. So Joe Mixon is a surprise to me. I thought the Josh Jacobs to your Packers was a surprise, and the Aaron Jones release. I could see it because of the money, because of his age. But the Joe Mixon one kind of hit me here today. Of all people, to restructure. Right. So I think releasing him and the little amount of money that they paid to Zach Moss, it was $8 million 2-year, $8 million year.
Nothing.
Cutting Joe Mixon opens up a little bit of money there to pay T. Higgins.
Now, was it him or Tyler Boyd that seeked to trade or requested a trade?
That was T. Higgins. Tyler Boyd is officially a free agent. He is on the market still. But T. Higgins got franchise tagged, and he was the one this morning that said he wanted a deal or to get traded before Thursday. So this is kind of the first move here.
Yeah,
making that happen at the end of the thing.
It makes sense because you can always find a cheap running back in the draft. But I mean, to have like star power wide receiver, maybe they're thinking we're going to put all of our baskets in the wide receivers and Burrow, and then just hope for the best. They catch somebody in the draft late or maybe in the mid.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at now. Running back in the draft this year is really weak. I've talked about it a lot of times on the show. It's not a good running back draft year, but you can just pretty much get a running back and plug and play him anywhere nowadays for a year, right? So not too worried about that. But question here in the chat, though. Aaron Jones, Derrick Henry, and Joe Mixon now we started the day with Saquon Barkley, Josh Jacobs, and now we're here with Aaron Jones and Joe Mixon on the free agent board. Where do we think these players go? So I'll let you finish, then I'll answer that question.
Okay. So at first, when I saw Tony Pollard go to Tennessee, I thought maybe Tennessee and Dallas were maybe going to do an old switcheroo. I think Aaron Jones is going to go to Dallas.
That's my favorite.
He's from Dallas. He always kills at AT&T Stadium. He loves that place. I mean, just ask Cowboy fans. So, and I mean, they need a dynamic running back. They need somebody. Tony Pollard wasn't the guy. They need someone dynamic, and they need someone that can make it easy for Dak with checkdowns and little routes. I think that's a no-brainer.
Yep.
Dude, these are fresh, so I'm kind of on the spot here.
Joe Mixon is really fresh, so I'm gonna have to worry about this. I actually like Derrick Henry. I'll go my Derrick Henry pick. I think Derrick Henry will fit the mold of what the Houston Texans are trying to do right now. When you got a young quarterback in his rookie contract, you got these young receivers that are doing great, a great coach in D'Amico Ryans, a growing team, and you bring in somebody like Derrick Henry to just stabilize that running game, which has been kind of the weakness, even though Singletary filled in and did admirable last year at times. But to bring in Derrick Henry and take that pressure off a young quarterback like that with the team they have, Houston could just dominate the AFC South next year if that happens. He's my favorite.
I like that. But I honestly think I might like Mixon a little more over at Houston. Henry's 30. He's getting a little older in the tooth. I mean, the amount of times Tennessee ran him was just ridiculous. Mixon's still young. And you could probably get him for, I wouldn't say a bargain, but probably
27 years old right now. Yep.
Right. So you're going to get, you could have Mixon in his prime with a young team. And then you have Singletary, or is Singletary, did he move or did he get traded?
Singletary got picked up today. Singletary is now the starting running back for the New York Giants. So they still have Dameon Pierce. So they have Dameon Pierce will be RB1 as of right now, which he's been hurt a lot. He cannot get into the end zone from the 1 yard line. That is for sure.
But Joe Mixon can. And to your credit, Derrick Henry's the most dominant 1 yard rusher, not named LeGarrette Blount of all time.
Yeah. He's the soberest one, that's for sure. So Joe Mixon to me for Houston makes a little bit of sense. And this is so fresh here. I'm just trying to look at the teams and try to figure out what makes sense here. So sorry for the off the script radio, but that's the type of day it's been, people. It's been off the script and absolutely insane.
Honestly, I could even see one of them going to Minnesota if they don't get Aaron Jones. I mean, Minnesota probably trying to restructure their offense. They probably need somebody desperate.
Madison's a free agent, so they do need a running back there. That would be a good spot for Mixon in Minnesota. But they have more worries than that now. They need a quarterback.
They need everything, it feels like.
Yeah. They not re-signing Kirk Cousins is just a blow to Justin Jefferson, to that entire team, and not having anybody and where they are in the draft. They're gonna have to trade up and get somebody. That's kind of where I see them going. Another place that I can see Joe Mixon seems like he would be a Raider just because of his past and everything like that. But I won't go there. I like Samir White. I'm not going to go there. But another place I could see. God, that's so true. So true. Another place I could see him going to is, well, yeah. We're running out of places because 1/3 of the team of the league has changed running backs today. So
that's
we're
true.
I mean, places here, Vikings and Panthers.
What do you think of Henry to New York, to the Giants?
Well, they just paid a pretty good amount of money to Devin Singletary, and I think they want him to be their number one. And he is a good two-way running back too. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. He's also good at between the tackles and could, when he was.
I've always felt like Singletary was good, but he wasn't the one. He always felt like a little like a bigger Sproles in a sense. He was a great pass catcher. He was shifty, a little beefier, I guess. But like if you had that 1-2 of just if you had Derrick Henry and then another kind of bruiser but agile runner like Singletary, and then since I guess they're keeping Daniel Jones for another year, you run like a triple threat offense in the rushing game. I mean, it'd be something, at least.
Or Joe Mixon there. Joe Mixon in New York would be a good one too. The thing with Singletary is, remember when he was on the Bills and he was their guy for 1 year as a rookie and did pretty well. He was at Iowa State, I think, on one of those schools. And then they brought in Zach Moss to be like the Punisher, the bruiser. And Zach Moss just was terrible at it.
Right.
And then they started giving the ball to Singletary at the 1 yard line, and the dude started converting touchdowns and converting first downs. And then they ended up getting rid of Zach Moss and then getting rid of obviously Singletary too. But now they have what's his face? The younger
James Cook.
Yeah, the younger Cook. Now Cook's out of the league already. I don't even know what he's gonna be doing next year. Probably playing the UFL. I don't know, but or Canada. But yeah, Joe Mixon's a weird one. He's And at this late in the game, he probably hates himself. He probably wishes he's like, couldn't you cut me this morning before all these other teams signed running backs all day? Because it's just been absolutely insane. I don't see really a good fit for him other than, to be honest, yeah, this is rough. Maybe the Raiders, because do they believe in Zamir White? He's still on a rookie contract. It wouldn't cost you too much more to bring in Joe Mixon, a name that everybody knows, to the offense.
Mm-hmm.
The Ravens, we mentioned the Ravens. I saw Ravens in the chat.
I think they're
too,
set on just rebuilding. Shout out,
but the Ravens need a running game. J.K. Dobbins gets to play one game a year before he tears another knee up. So, and they just lost Gus Edwards.
Right.
I know they have Mitchell, a rookie Mitchell, who's exciting and fast, but not a 3-down back. So there's that too. I don't know.
They like him though. I mean, that's a team they definitely like.
So I don't know what to tell you. Like Joe Mixon.
Yeah, that's
Joe
tough.
Mixon is going to go somewhere we least expect, I think, here. And what a crazy cut that was.
Also,
I kind of figured something like that would happen, but not Joe Mixon. Not Joe Mixon.
Right?
I mean, here we
also,
are.
Like, I think
this day gets crazier.
Right. Well, I mean, it's fresh, so we're still trying to even find where everybody is officially before we can even set up the next set of people getting sent out.
I know. It's insane. Today's been absolutely insane. Did you have, besides your Packers and everything that happened? But by the way, I do want to give a shout out to Bakhtiari for not only being Aaron Rodgers' boy, but pounding a beer like nobody else can. So
best to do it. Best to ever do it, really.
So Bakhtiari, if you're not signed to the Jets or wherever else you play, if you would like to join myself and Elliot Cams on Patio Beer Fridays,
always
invited.
Yeah.
You're always welcome to come join. The first beer is on me. The second beer is on Elliot. And after that, you're on your own. But come on down and join us for Patio.
Third round's on him. I think that's fair.
Yeah. That'll be like 30 seconds in. He already has both beers drank. He's like, oh, all right, time to go.
He's on his fifth. We're still halfway through the first. Like, what just happened?
Maybe that's why he was injured all the time. But anything else happened today or even last night that took you by surprise or like you think is a good fit for anybody? I know you've had a long day. You got to wake up early, do your show and all that good stuff. But anything else kind of hit you?
I have two, and they're both quarterbacks. Okay. One, I think Russell Wilson with the Steelers was the only fit for Russell Wilson.
I agree with that, actually.
And I think it's a perfect fit for what the Steelers are, going from 10-7 to 11-6, maybe. I mean, that'll be sick. Steeler fans can just be irritated and excited all over again. I think that's cool. But I think one I'm really interested in watching this year is Trevor Lawrence and his new backup, Mac Jones.
We haven't talked about Mac Jones yet on the show. I'm glad you brought that up.
Mac Jones gets traded to the Jaguars. Now, I don't know why you would bring in another young quarterback that's had college success, a Pro Bowler technically, and then you're going to a quarterback guru like Doug Peterson. I'm not saying this could happen, but what happens if maybe Trevor gets hurt again or they start like 1-5? Do you see what Mac can do?
No. You don't
see what Mac can do, maybe? Little quarterback competition between two young bucks.
I think they're gonna lie and say that there's a competition. Okay. I know they're both first round picks, but what's the first overall pick? And the other one just went to the Patriots.
So he had a bit of a belly, I mean, the 49ers wanted him. Kyle Shanahan wanted Mac Jones. That was the story. So I mean, maybe they saw something.
Who did they get instead? I don't remember. What's his name?
They got Trey Lance, and that worked wonders for them.
But they end up with Purdy. Yeah, Trey Lance was he on the Cowboys now, or is he even on their team? I don't even know.
I don't know.
Why is he not playing in the UFL? I'm excited about the UFL. I'm not gonna lie.
Speaking of backups, though, Minnesota did get somebody.
Who did they get?
They did get some Sam Darnold.
Oh, they did? Is that breaking? I don't have that on my list here.
I believe he's.
So that must be recent here. Okay. Sam Darnold is going to the Minnesota Vikings. He's not going to be the starter, though. No way.
I don't know. I mean, could be sick. Could go back to his SC days.
Just screw it. Justin Jefferson's down there somewhere.
That's what I'm saying. Like, name it. Hang on. Because I was a bit of a Darnold stan when he was at SC, and then when he went to the Jets. I have a soft spot for the guy because I feel like no one's been screwed more than Sam Darnold in the last 6-7 years, other than Zach Wilson, maybe, or anybody that's been sad enough to have to play for the Jets.
Has Zach Wilson really been screwed?
I mean,
by anyone other than a MILF? Come on.
He's not doing everything wrong. But I mean, like, those Darnold Jet years were sad. Like, those were really sad. And then you'd see like a game.
Nothing around him.
Right. So, and then he goes to Carolina. He goes like 5-0, right? Kind of sick. Yeah. And then his team reminds him how bad he is and how bad that team is.
Yeah, so also a very
then he goes to the 49ers and, does his job, wins the backup position, isn't third string, wins backup. And now
he beat Trey Lance. He beat Trey Lance. He beat out Trey Lance.
That's what I'm saying. And now he's going to be at Minnesota, fresh start, a dome team, and he's going to have the best.
I will tell you, I just looked. It's not official. It's not official, but there are in talks. So
must have been a ghost report. Sorry,
I haven't gotten the official, but it is chattering right now. It's chattering up on the X, my friend. It is the most
Darnold in those ghost stories. So it sucks, man. Constantly seeing ghosts is wild.
But it is the chatter that's where he's going to end up. So there you go. I like it.
Give him half a season. Give him half a season with Jefferson.
Yeah, who else
See what he can do.
You going to bring in Tim Mullins?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't know much about the Vikings other than they're just becoming a sad, sad franchise again, and that might warm my heart. It could. There's something about that purple and yellow is just ugly as all can be.
I wonder why. Is it because you're a Packers fan?
Couldn't imagine why. That's
okay.
Ridiculous.
As a Packers fan,
yes.
Which team do you hate the most? The Lions, the Vikings, or the Bears?
That's a good question. So I'm not going to say the Lions because I think even if you
just kind of feel bad for them, right? Yeah.
Well, right. And even when they were like, even this year, like we went back and forth with them, but they were fun to watch. And Dan Campbell's such a likable coach. And I mean, yeah, I don't think you can hate them. The Vikings, they suck. God, they do suck. They are the worst. And I hated Adrian Peterson for a good chunk.
Me too, because he broke the record for single game rushing yards against my team. Well, I was in Hawaii. It sucked.
And like finding out he's kind of a horrible guy really helped being a Packer fan. Just like knowing he sucked off air as much as we hated him on the field too. Like that in a sense helped. I did like me some Jared Allen though. But anyway, so it's the Bears. Hold on. The Bears, much like the Lions, have kind of just been a joke my whole life. Like I've been alive for 30 years, and there's been two good Bears seasons, and the Packers beat them in the NFC Championship, and Peyton Manning won the Super Bowl against them. Other than that, like what's the last good thing they had? The double doink, and even then, that is rough.
Yeah. Well, if you more on the Bears, if you go to MyNightRants.com and read Heavy T's Inept franchise series, he did his first inaugural one was on the Bears and how bad they've been. And you are right on the money. They are inept franchise for sure, but they're I think it's kind of turned around slowly.
My most hated team is easily the San Francisco 49ers.
The 49ers, not the Cowboys. Not the Cowboys. Well,
no.
How can you hate the Cowboys when you're a Packers fan? Because every time you play them, you just destroy them. So there's that.
Exactly. I mean, it's been nice, but the 49ers are easily the bane of my existence. Every year, Packers get my hopes up, win one playoff game, see them either in Lambeau or in San Francisco or Santa Clara, wherever it is, and everything looks good until it doesn't. And then just these little things happen, and then it becomes an avalanche, and then we lose by like 10 to 20. And I hate it, and it's every year. We cannot escape them. If the Packers didn't have to play the 49ers, they would have made it to the Super Bowl. If the Packers hadn't thrown one interception, they won the Super Bowl. I'm convinced.
Josh in the chat calls the 49ers your kryptonite. He's also a Packers fan, so he's feeling your pain.
They are, and I hate them so much. They hurt my heart every year, and I have to living in California, I have to deal with constant 49er fans, and it's not like I like watching football. The 49ers, I have family. No, it's always the most smug fans on the planet because we are literally 3 hours away.
Dude, how many here in Central California? How many flags did we have to bear witness to in our city those 2 weeks going up to the Super Bowl? I mean, people had them on the side of their houses, their living room, back behind sheds. Every car was dual flagging. We had flaggers. There were 49er flaggers all over Fresno, man. It was everywhere.
Disgusting. I mean, I even had a co-host of mine,
Drew, yes,
a work partner, have to drive around in one, and I think he iced them. I think he might have iced them. Just saying.
Hey, he's the Iceman. Drew's the Iceman. The 49er Iceman.
He is. Much like me in hockey, he is the Iceman.
Yes. Yes. If you don't know, on Fridays, I do join Elliot here and Drew, obviously on the Drew Show on New Rock 104 here in Fresno. I know, Edward, but I can't listen to it. I live in Fresno. There's an app for that. Get the app. New Rock 104.
There's an app.
Yeah, it's an app. You can listen to it. Just go to newrock104.com. Listen live. No excuses. I don't want to hear any excuses during my night rants. There you go.
No, we are not an excuse home. This is not an excuse show. I need to be better. I need to be one with the ice rather than adding to the ice. I need to become one with it. So I know my ice. And then I need to heat up that ice because we got college basketball all for the next 2-3 weeks. And I don't want to suck at that. That would be
next week. Next week is the show where we do the bracket challenge.
Okay.
Heavy T's in Houston. And if Heavy T doesn't get on the show, I may be calling you, my friend.
I'm here. And you are going to get the blindest of brackets you've ever seen. And that's why we're going to do great.
Perfect. That means you're going to win. Sneaky moves by the Lions. I like the trade for Carlton Davis. I do like that trade as well. And the sign of Davenport. The Carlton Davis trade was very interesting. The Lions' weakness, obviously, all year long, we were just talking about the NFC North, was the secondary. I know you got to go here soon. We'll be going soon.
Yeah.
Just got to give Brad some love for putting in the chat. You know what I'm saying? Love that trade. A little high for it. Yeah, he was out of Tampa Bay a little bit of the trade. And the Davenport signing as well. Pretty sneaky signing there as well. So today was crazy, Brad. We talked about running backs galore, how the running backs had their day finally, their day in court. We talked about some of our favorite signings, our least favorite signings. We went over the Packers. We went over the Falcons. We went over the Steelers. We went over my Chargers. We went over everything today, and I'm sure more will come tomorrow. Before we go, Elliot, I want everyone to tell Elliot where they can find you. No, just kidding. Elliot, tell everybody where they can find you and why you're so awesome and why they need to sign up and join you.
Well, I do this fun thing called patio beers every Friday. So, I mean, if there's a patio in Fresno, you might find me there Friday during happy hour. I don't know. But if you can't find me there, you can tune into the Drew Show on New Rock 104.1, Monday through Friday, 6 to 10 a.m. You can find us on New Rock 104.1, or you can find us on our SoundCloud and Spotify. Just type in The Drew Show 104.1. Every show is podcasted down and mixed through for you guys. You can also find me on Twitter at Elliot Cams, on Instagram at New Rock Elliot, and and on OnlyFans.
Somebody just asked what your OnlyFans is.
Yeah. Tasty Grippers 559. Yeah. I mean,
hey, Tasty Grippers 559, baby. OnlyFans. What's that cost you for a month on your OnlyFans there? Tasty Grippers 559.
Don't worry about that. That's
okay.
That's if you're doing it for free, you shouldn't have an. If you're doing it for free, you shouldn't be on OnlyFans. Simple as that.
You have to ask, you can't afford it, right?
Yeah. See, this guy gets it. This is why he's the host.
It's free. Duh. Okay, this is too much fun. Thank you, Eric. He said, great stream, sick. Thank you, no problem. Thank you for joining Monday Night Rants. By the way, this show will be on MondayNightRants.com on demand as soon as I'm off here and we're off here. You can check it out there as well. I'll try to cut down some as fast as I can. This week is pretty crazy for me. Some videos of me and Elliot here and everybody else. Elliot, thank you so much, my friend. I may be calling upon you. I'm going to be hitting you up on Wednesday after the reunion for Love is Blind.
Oh, naturally. Wednesday's a big night. Reunion, Survivor. I mean, we got a lot of stuff going on here.
We do. Oh, yeah, man. I heard that you're... Oh, by the way, you also did put your head in the ring for Survivor. That's right. You are signing up for Survivor. So
I did apply for Survivor.
I think we're going to have to get you back on just to talk about that. Because that's going to be a whole thing in its own. And
say less. Hey, anytime you need me on, I'm happy to fill in.
We'll do it. Really, bro. I want to know why Survivor. People are talking about. Now people in the chat are talking about TV. What do we do?
Yeah, exactly.
What do we do?
I mean, look, we know it all. We know sports. We know TV. We know OnlyFans. Yeah. I mean, we're
Amazing Race is coming back too. Survivor is great. See that? Maybe we'll have to have a show where we just rank reality TV competitions.
I'm with it. I'm in.
Okay, there's going to be a really low period after March Madness in between that and the NBA playoffs. So I say we do it then. But yeah, until then, Elliot, I'll let you go on your merry way. I know you got to wake up super early in the morning to go do your radio show. Just keep your phone handy for Mondays. I don't know what Heavy T's doing anymore.
I got it. I'm here ready to go whenever you need me. Thanks, buddy.
Love you, brother. We'll talk to you, man.
Take care.
Later. All right. Elliot Cams, Elliot Jams, Drew from The Drew Show. We all know what Elliot is doing after this. He's going to put some content up on his OnlyFans. Woo! I want to thank all of you for joining me tonight. What a great show. What a great crowd we had here tonight. Thank you for being interactive in the chat. I love you all. I appreciate you all. It means a lot to me and everybody here. Heavy T and Thomas Stevens and everyone on Monday Night Rants. Go to MondayNightRants.com for more information. The Annette franchise series from Heavy T. I will try to get all this debacle of NFL free agency all round up into one article about my thoughts, and we'll get some others from the show as well on there on MondayNightRants.com. The Annette franchise series for the Knicks will go up late tonight, tomorrow morning. Catch me on The Drew Show with Elliot and Drew every Friday mornings on the New Rock 104 app and NewRock104.com, talking sports, talking nerd news, everything like that. Next week, we have the greatest show, my favorite show I do every year. It is the NCAA March Madness Tournament extravaganza. We're going to be filling out brackets. We're going to be going through everything and our betting picks. It's a lot of fun. I dominate. I am undefeated when it comes to my fellow co-hosts here on Monday Night Rants. For 2 straight years, I have won. Let's go. Hope you guys calm your mind. Take some, I don't know, sleeping pills or something. Calm down, because tomorrow in the NFL free agency is just going to get just as crazy. I can feel it. For myself, the Better Sports Network, at Better Network, and all your favorite social media platforms. From Fitness Chick 4 in the chat, I see you, girl. From everybody here, we'll see you next week. Have a good week. Enjoy NFL free agency. Get ready for March Madness. And, as always, a big shout out to my boy, Tosh McGowan.